Hey grade 10, just in case a few of you are wanting to go on to factorising, I thought I'd quickly put this together, but we can go through it again tomorrow. We're looking at factorising, which is putting things in brackets by finding the things they have in common or their common factors and putting them in front of the brackets and leaving everything else together. Next, you just have a little section here where I've taken out of your book, just a few things to remind you of, but we'll go through them in a minute. When we're factorising, what we're doing is finding the common factors. The only thing is that in this chapter we're adding a few extra hard pieces. We're looking at common factors that are not just numbers or letters, they can actually be a group of numbers and letters, even a group in a bracket. So x plus 5 might be common to both sections of your equation, so it's actually grouped out the front. And also you actually might be asked to do surds, but we're going to leave them till Friday where you actually have square root signs. Okay, now here's a few little things here. Spot the common factors in these three ones. Pause the video if you can, write this out, and see if you can color code or highlight the common factors in each one of these that we're going to then put out the front. Pause the video now. Okay, first of all, break it down. This first one here, the common factors, you have to break 12 into its multiples of 3 and 4. Notice that both of them have negatives out the front, so instead of just calling 3 a common factor, we're actually going to say that a common factor is minus 3. Remember how we started looking at everything as minus and positive or negative and positive? You have to take the sign with it as well. So in this case, the common factor is minus 3, and you're left with x and positive 4. Now look at where I got that from. That 4 up there, it doesn't have a negative in front of it. It's a positive number. That now becomes the separator here and is now called plus 4 because we're adding a positive number to x. Here's another practice. With the one up here, it's actually quite long. Break 20 and 30 down into their factors of 2 and 10. And then split a squared into a times a. Now let's highlight the common factors. You've got times by 10 and times by a. Notice I'm keeping the sign with it as well. So the multiplying by 10 and a has to go out the front. So that becomes 10a, or times 10 and times a. Now what's left over needs to be put in brackets again. So what's left over is a positive 2 and an a times by a, and in the second lot of brackets we've got a positive 3. So here if you look at it, here's what was left in the first brackets, here's what was left in the second brackets. They now go together in a set of brackets. Next, what's common in this one? If you hadn't spotted it, it's actually that whole group of brackets there is common. X plus 1 in brackets is common to both of those groups. So that actually goes out on the front on its own, and what's left over goes in another set of brackets. We have 2 and minus a. Now notice the 2 is positive. So in a second set of brackets we put a positive 2 and a negative a together. And there you have factorisation of those brackets.